What's up, everybody? Jordan Stewart here from Vover. Thanks so much for tapping into the Vover original show. Just a reminder that if you want to drop your opinions about the episode or respond to the host and guests with your voice, go and download the Vover app wherever you get your apps. Vover, voice over everything. Enjoyed the show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Can I Steal You for a Minute? Vover's Bachelor/Bachelorette show. Here with me today, as always, is a woman who would never send me home on a one-on-one date except that one time. My wife, Katie Cruz. How you doing, babe?
Doing great, thank you. We have a good episode to talk about, and let's just hop right into it.
Well, real quick before we hop into it. So the experience that we had watching this also was, so we missed last week. We apologize to all of our many fans.
Blame our daughter.
Yeah, but also we had to watch both episodes back to back. So It was 4 hours of Bachelorette in one sitting. So take that with you what you will as to some of our analysis today. But babe, go ahead. You have the question.
Sure. Well, I think this encompasses a lot. This is a recap of everything. You know, Hunter had his top four. We don't usually hear a top four from a contestant. So my question to you first is just who do you think are the top four right now?
Oof. I think he's right in that she does have a top four. I don't know why he chose that number. Like, why wouldn't she just have a top one?
It just means fantasy suites and hometowns.
Sure. It's still a little weird, which I guess we'll get into. If I had to pick the top four, I'm going with Andrew S. I'm going with Greg. I'm going with, I guess Michael A, or is that his name? Michael? But I also think he's going home soon. I don't know. I feel like his son, that's going to be a thing. And as opposed to, or in regards to the fourth person, I mean, a lot of the guys who just got eliminated were actually, I think, in my top four. But I guess for the sake of this, I'll go a little. Oh, Blake. It's obviously Blake in the top four.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I called he was going to be the winner last podcast or so. I still stand by that. I think Greg being now revealed the best kisser really adds to his ranks there, but I think it's Greg, Blake. I would agree on Andrew S. They had a great date. My fourth, unfortunately, I don't think Michael's going to make it. I think he would be a great next Bachelor potentially, so that's possible. But I think the fourth I really don't have a strong fourth. I think that's top three. I think the fourth might be Justin. She seemed to dig him. Even though you hated that date, what was your thought on the wedding date?
Oh, I thought they set him up for so much failure.
They're usually much worse than how it went down.
That's really bad to throw. Again, that's his first one-on-one date, and you have to already act like it's your wedding day. First of all, isn't there that superstition that you're not supposed to see the bride before the actual wedding? So he's seeing the bride years in advance, right? So already set up for failure.
If they're engaged or married, it'll be soon.
And then also the whole writing of the vows, again, super set up for failure. Even Katie too, right? Like when you
Hers were very generic. They did a good job though, and I think that usually someone would get sent home on an episode like that. Justin held his own, especially the conversation afterwards when she was talking about how it was difficult for her father to not be there, even when it was a dress rehearsal. With Justin, I feel like he's come on late here, but he was also thrown in the deep end and he didn't drown. He didn't drown. So that was why he was my fourth.
Okay, next
question. Does being a super fan make Hunter super fake?
Yeah.
Kind of the whole episode there.
Oh, 1,000%.
You think so?
If you know the rules that well, you're just checking off the boxes to get beyond that. And he's just as much guilty of trying to be the next Bachelor or trying to be famous as Thomas. Like that's how I see it.
I don't know. I got confused thinking about this question. I was trying to find an analogy and help me if you found a better one. But I feel like if you are a super fan and you go into the world, let's say that you make it onto a team that you've been a super fan of since you were a kid, or you get a certain role on Broadway and you become part of it, and you know the ins and outs of the history of the team or everyone else's lines. Like, I don't think that means that you're super fake. I don't like Hunter. Hunter's gone, whatever. I just thought it was an interesting concept that if you're the super fan, does that mean you are absolutely super fake, not in it? And I think I'm going to go with no. I think you can still be genuine. I think it's also kind of similar to if you're a super fan of falling in love, right? Like
Oh,
you
come on.
really no, but like you really, really want to fall in love. You're just like, I'll fall in love with anyone, right? I'll take anyone, whoever it is. Does that mean that it's fake? I don't know. I think it could also be more ammunition for the moment. I do think that Hunter was something was off about him, but just this concept of being a super fan, I don't think makes you super fake.
Well, I think the issue for me anyway was that, I mean, that narrative doesn't come out of nowhere, right? I always feel like with these reality shows, there's producers and whatnot on the side who are feeding these guys information. Or these
I think
girls.
it would have been wild if he faked his kids.
Oh,
like,
that would
if the pictures were
Yeah.
his niece and nephew or something, would that not have been wild?
that would have been super wild. Actually, super funny too. But
Not even just niece and nephew. What if they were just like
Just
the
random
neighbors,
kids?
the neighbors' kids or something?
just the kids that you have in a generic picture frame.
That's wild.
I think that information, because that's a specific accusation, right? That's a super specific
It's
accusation.
also very
I feel
generic.
like-
they always call each other fake and here for the wrong
well,
reasons.
no, right? That is generic. To say you're a super fan,
Oh,
I feel
okay.
like
That is specific.
I feel like they got that from a producer or someone like whispered it in one of the guys' ears and it spread like wildfire. The same thing with Thomas is like he wants to be the next Bachelor. I feel like that doesn't just come from seeing that he's a jackass.
Agreed. And Hunter also made the mistake of always using the rhetoric of a game. Right?
Yeah.
He always talked about I'm gonna win. And that didn't sit well with the guys either. Next question. Is Connor really a bad kisser? Or did Katie decide it would be bad before it even happened?
So, look, I never kissed Connor B. You've never kissed Connor B. So we're really coming at this from an outside perspective, unless you have, and then we can have a different conversation offline. But so aesthetically, it didn't look like a good kisser. Every time that they've kissed, you have audibly gone, oh.
Well, we talked about how he pounced too early. Like literally when he was a cat and he tried to kiss her.
Right. But even from the form and the
Awkward,
the aesthetic
sure.
of it looked a little awkward. And if you look at Katie's body language, break down each kiss, she's not really falling into the kiss as much as like taking it, which I feel is very, very key to a good kiss.
Okay.
You weren't expecting that analysis, were you?
Okay. I think that Katie thought it was going to be bad before it happened, but that's because all of the other kisses, like you said, were bad as well. So I think it's a mix. I'm sure Connor's not Greg, right? He's not the best kisser, but I think Katie just really didn't give him a chance. Like, I think in that one-on-one, which was their first one-on-one, if you already think he's in the friend zone, why are you going to go on a date with two other friends? That's just a friendly date, and you're trapping him in the friend zone even more. And then you're not even giving him time in the evening to have a romantic setting.
That was brutal.
There was way too much pressure on that date. There was way too much pressure on Connor, and I think that she was in her head. She was like, this isn't going to be good. It all led up to that. It just...
In Katie's
I felt bad
defense-
for Connor. And even, sorry to cut you off, even as he was getting broken up with, he was still prioritizing her feelings. He was like, it's okay. I know what's coming.
I'm
you
not-
do you.
He's a good guy. I think that came across pretty well, but
The whole house was devastated to see him go.
crushed.
But he'll be on Paradise, people, so.
Oh, well, there you go.
Look forward to
breaking news. So in Katie's defense of her kind of already putting in the thought that he was a bad kisser, I mean, she's already kissed him multiple times, right? So it's like, maybe we should get a kissing psychologist on here at some point, but can you change the way you kiss? It's like, it's just the way it is. It either vibes with the other person or it doesn't. You know what I mean? And it wasn't going to change that quickly. So, and she even said on the show, right, she wanted to just throw him into kind of this deep end to see if it would work. And that's what she did. And unfortunately, it didn't.
What's the deep end, though? A hangout with other friends?
The hangout was brutal, but it was just the one-on-one. Like, that already is...
But she didn't give him... They never had a one-on-one. They were 2-on-2 again, and she didn't give him that time in the evening. That was just...
But the kissing thing was the biggest issue, right?
Yeah, I still think that she just thought that he was a friend, and then no matter how good or not of a kisser he is, if you're kissing a friend, it doesn't feel right.
Sure. Absolutely.
So, yeah,
Absolutely.
Poor guy. Last question. Who the hell is Brendan?
So first of all, he's from Canada, from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. So shout out to the
That's where you grew
sort
up.
of where I grew up. And he is the isn't he the firefighter trainee? That's his. It definitely didn't make sense that he
Was chosen.
He got
Top
he's got
6.
he's
or
got
7.
none one-on-one time with
Right.
her in like the past 3 weeks.
Right. Like even Mike P, I think is his name. We knew because he had the whole storyline of being a virgin. He had that
Virgin Mike.
group date. But yeah, when she called Brendan's name, I think both of you and I just looked at each other. We're like, who the hell is this?
And I think that was more to do with getting rid of the other guys
Everyone,
who were
right?
part of the drama, if you will.
But it was just interesting because she said, I don't have time to play catch up and I don't have time for the drama. And she clearly cut anyone who has to do with drama. And I was all for that. But I mean, don't have time to play catch up? You would need some catch up time with Brendan. Right. So
Brendan-
I could have dealt with no Brendan, maybe even no Mike P. I think we're just moving through this season. This season seems to be moving super quick.
Yeah, she eliminated a lot of guys in
Yes,
the last show.
She did. And
Brendan firmly in 6th place right now, by the way. Firmly in 6th place.
I think it's 7. Because I think
there's
Justin
7.
already had a
Oh, that's
rose.
right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Okay, so
I'm
7th
throwing
place.
in one last question. I'm just curious. Who's winning? I already called who's winning. Who do you think is winning?
Ooh, I'm going Andrew. I'm going
Wow,
Andrew S.
Okay.
That's they got a good vibe going.
They had a great date.
He followed her blindly when she led him into the dark. That could have gone. If you're down with that, that could have gone any which way.
Well,
so
we'll see. Knowing Katie, she could pick it next week.
she could. They on the episode from last week when they did the rest of the season on the Bachelorette. That a lot of that was in the next
Who
episode.
shows up? I'm just throwing more questions at you, but who shows up? I think it's her biological father.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That kind of came up this week, and clearly someone comes that was in the previews, and I think it's her biological
I think
father.
it's a former contestant, someone who's been on the show before, like another one.
That knows her?
No, not necessarily.
Just
kind
another
of like
suitor.
kind of like a Blake situation.
Okay, we'll see.
That's where I'm at. Well, babe, thanks as always for doing Can I Steal You for a Minute here on Vover. We had a very special guest in the studio who was actually pretty good. Our daughter is actually here, and she managed to keep quiet for about 15 minutes. So,
Sonny, can you say bye-bye?
wow. Sloan Cruz debut. All right, everyone. We'll catch you soon. Peace.
Vover.